On today's episode of WatchJRGo, I'm in the truck, we've got the trailer hooked up, and I'm headed to buy a cheap luxury car. It's always a mistake, and it's always one I'll make again. Thanks to Sunday for sponsoring today's video. What is going on, guys? I am WatchJRGo, and today we are here at Wichita Premier Auto Services with Kyle. And many of you will remember Kyle. We've done a bunch of stuff together. We went and
the Atom,
but a whole bunch of stuff. Honestly, we've done a lot of work together.
Oh yeah.
And then Kyle, I saw this on Marketplace earlier. Didn't even reach out to me. Was like, I've got a broken Audi. So I hit him up, and I was like, I might need a broken Audi, and that is what we're here to look at. A cheap luxury car that. It's gotta be a bad deal. I have to be getting the bad end of the deal if you're buying a broken car from a shop.
Right.
So I'm pretty excited about this one.
Broken turbo car nonetheless.
Oh man, could be disastrous to the wallet. It couldn't get worse.
But it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Look at this thing. It's clean title?
Clean title.
Wow, I wasn't expecting
clean title.
That. I wasn't. And we've got some aftermarket wheels, some Alzors.
Yep.
It's like Zoltan from the movie.
Zoltan.
And this thing really does look clean.
Yeah, it doesn't have your normal Audi scar. They all have like dents on the quarter.
Yeah, everybody backs into the pillar on the side of the building with their Audi. It's like a third day kind of thing in the manual. Make sure you hit one pillar.
It's in the manual.
It's in the book for sure. Yeah, no doubt. Somebody did hit a pillar with the front.
They did. They kissed it good.
Yeah. But other than that, this thing's clean.
Yeah.
And what am I giving you for this bad boy?
$1,300.
$1,300. And
it came from Colorado, so it has a very herbal smell to it.
Does smell herbal. It smells like it came from a store that's not allowed to use banks.
That's right. That's right. Cash only.
Cash only. I love it. Well, you said this thing is a crank, no start situation.
Yes, sir. Here's the key for you.
Wow, that's a fancy key. That's got to be worth the money.
Oh, always.
Cool.
Comes complimentary with the Valvoline oil filter.
Do the hood struts work? It kind of looks. Oh, all right.
They try.
It's ready for my channel then.
It is.
There's no doubt about it.
It's ready for the vice grip on it.
Yeah. It looked new. I thought you were fooling me there with the brand new.
I think that's an Amazon special.
Yeah. Well, I know what I gotta fix, and then the rest of the car will run great.
Absolutely. That's it.
That's it.
Put a new hood strut on it, it's gonna run.
So we got the 4-cylinder 2.0T in there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The infamous 2-liter.
Man, that thing is covered in oil.
She is a little oily.
Covered in oil.
Oh, you know what they say? If it leaks it, it's got it.
They do say that, and they also say these engines have a lot of PCV failures.
They do.
So.
PCVs like to take out the rear main seals. I just got done doing one of those on an Audi all-road.
Oh, all right.
Not a fun job.
So already we're thinking PCV from the first look, and then maybe whatever it takes to make it start running.
Yep. I think the chains will fix it, but I haven't had time to look at it.
All right, well, let's get this thing loaded up, man.
Let's do it.
Self-closing? Soft close hood, I love it.
That's right.
That's way more fancy than I ever thought.
That's an Audi.
Yep. Soft close hoods. This is a kinetic recovery.
Battery power, I'm gonna grab the truck.
Here, hold on. You kinetic again and I'll push.
Ready?
Yep, go.
We can do it!
I'm going.
Watch tires.
Watch tires. Here, go.
We got this. I can't go up the hill.
We're the same as Matt's off-road recovery. There's no doubt about it. You just jerk it backwards.
That could be misconstrued in so many ways.
Oh man, I should edit that out.
Hopefully it's just timing.
Hopefully it's just timing. So we don't really know what's wrong with it. Kyle thinks it's timing. We've got this bad boy all loaded up. That took a little bit of work. It's heavier than you think.
So am I.
But we got it on the trailer. I'm gonna drag this thing home. Thanks for the problems. Thanks for the problems.
You know, there's at least 4 of them. There's 4 rings for each problem.
That's right. They circled all 4 problems. It's like the Ford badge.
Absolutely.
All right, well, if you guys need something worked on here in Wichita, as you guys know, I won't work on your cars, but Kyle will.
Yeah.
So hit up Wichita Premier Auto Services and he'll get you taken care of.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Of course.
Can't wait to get this out of here. Huge thank you to Sunday for sponsoring today's video. Now, as you guys know, if you've been around for a while, that robot mower and we didn't really get along, and it ended up causing a lot of problems, and my yard has been taken over by weeds and a lot of it's dead. So I'm super excited to be working with Sunday, and today we're out fertilizing with their Active Lawn liquid pouch here. Sunday uses soil climate and satellite data to model your lawn and build a custom plan tailored to your unique needs. Sunday ships directly to your door and takes just 10 to 15 minutes to spray the nutrients on your lawn, then you can sit back and watch it green. It's that easy. Sunday always uses simple ingredients like seaweed, iron, and molasses to keep your lawn free of harsh chemicals and pesticides. They even send you this soil test kit with a little tool to help you get 6-inch soil samples out of your yard. You're gonna take about 3 of them, put them in this bag, put them in this box, and ship it back to them so they can test your soil and customize your lawn plan to your yard. After we're done with this, we'll box it all up, stick the label on it, and ship it back to them for some testing. So go to getsunday.com/watchJRGo or hit the link in the description below, or use my promo code JRGO30 to get 30% off your custom lawn care plan today and get started with Sunday. Huge thank you to Sunday for sponsoring today's video and being a continued supporter of automotive creators like me. Now Legit Street Cars and I need to have a lawn off. And we're back. We got the A4 off the trailer, unloaded and into the shop. And for just $1,300, we got ourselves a Lamborghini Audi key. It's the ones that are Lamborghini have it engraved in the back, so it's a little bit cooler, but hey, it's still nice having that key on you. So this is a 2010 Audi A4, a B8. That's the generation of this thing. And these aftermarket wheels, the Zoltans I mentioned before, they look like they're off like a new S5. The new S5 is this, but with like diamonds in it, you know? It's the exact same, like painted and machined face, and it's got like a cool contour to it. But these look good, and they make the car look a lot newer, other than the fact that the center caps are sun faded. But hey, it's got fresh tires on it, some Iron Mans. What are these tires here? Wow, 23. The date code is 23, so they're basically brand new, and 245 4018. That's not bad. So a pretty big, beefy tire for an executive compact saloon. I think that's what they call this thing. The tires in the back are different. They're Kumos, also new though. That's kind of interesting. Dated 23. Who put one set of tires on 6 months after the other set of tires? I don't really know how that happened, but this Alzor center cap here looks a little bit better. Let's take a look at the rest of the tires and see just how bad this is. You gotta be kidding me. These are Goodyear Eagles, and they're completely dry rotted. They've been on there for 5 years. At least we got 2 matching tires out of the deal. The other front here is a fresh Iron Man as well. So I'll take fresh Iron Mans over 5-year-old Eagles. The Eagle might be a better tire, but this probably works just fine. Also, this center cap's just missing. So we've got one good one, 2 sun-faded ones, and one that's MIA. So this 2010 Audi A4 is powered by a 2.0 turbo 4-cylinder. Like I said before, it is TFSI, so the turbo stratified fuel injection. It's pretty much what all the Audis have. It's just GDI with a more German name, if you will. They put the word stratified in there instead of gasoline direct injection. But simple, that's always nice. I love 4-cylinders to death. They're the best thing you could possibly work on. And I don't know what transmission's behind this. But whatever it is, whether it's an 8-speed auto, it's not a manual obviously, or a CVT, which a lot of these actually have CVTs, surprising, right? It only has to cope with 178 horsepower and 236 foot-pounds of torque from the engine. So it's no screamer, it's not gonna be that fast, it's just gonna be like a nice driver once it's running. But like I said, it's not running, and then it has a mystery transmission behind it. This is definitely a low option car. I noticed immediately it didn't have the good headlights, it has the halogens. There is a Xenon version that has steering headlights. You can have adaptive cruise control, you can have the Bang & Olufsen system in these things, and it kind of looks like it has nothing. And also it's a front wheel drive A4, not a Quattro, so that's kind of interesting. There's no driveline components connected to the rear wheels, so it's probably a much simpler config. I do know these are really strange. If you have the Quattro version, the power it comes out of the engine into the transmission and then back forward into the diff, and then there's like a side shaft like this. I was looking at the transmissions, and there's a shaft coming out of the front that runs alongside the transmission back to the back to power the rear wheels. Really crazy how they built that system. And apparently if you have a right-hand drive version, it ruins the whole cabin because the pedals don't fit correctly. So Audi does some weird things every once in a while, but I'm sure they've fixed that by now. So 4-cylinder, front wheel drive, the easiest kind of car you could possibly work on. and I don't know what's wrong with it. So let's try to start it right now and pull the codes and just kind of see what we're dealing with. And I do want to show you guys around real quick. It does have a sunroof, so give it some credit there. It has an option. And it's the nice Audi style where you can turn the knob for how much you want the sunroof to open. I'll show you that. The battery is dead, so it's back here charging. We're at 30% right now, or it'll give us a voltage here in a couple of seconds if we want to wait. It takes a long time. It's at 12 volts right now, which is interesting. The car's even saying it's dead. Ton of trunk space though. Look how big that trunk is. That's, well, in people, I don't want to give you a number. I don't want to quantify it, but it's probably a lot. In golf clubs, it's probably 5, maybe 6. You can fit way more golf clubs than you'd expect. And it does have a sub trunk as well. And it comes with a spare tire, which is interesting because most cars haven't had spare tires for years. Since it's on the charger, the spare tire is already out on the floor. I think these are LED taillights, but they're a little bit broken. Got some cracking going on in there. We have to give it a few points for coming with an anodized Coca-Cola bottle opener. Also, the seats look incredible. You gotta love these Audi seats. They've always been a timeless design. I think they look great. I think the door panels look great. Just silver with a little kind of a texture on there. And I think it's all, oh, look at that. Auto windows all the way around, pretty impressive. Heated mirrors. Even though it's like a no option base model car, it still gets a lot of points. It's got a few options for being, you know, optionless. On the light controls over here, we have front fog lights and rear fog light. So that's kind of cool. Cruise control, that's something. It's not adaptive, but it exists. Normal turn signals, lights, all that good stuff right there. And it doesn't even have auto wipers. What a letdown. There's no sensor up here at all. That is the most basic, boring, non-powered mirror. So no auto dimming. I can't believe this car has the audacity to call itself an Audi. It's pretty lame. But let's get into the controls. So in all the big boy Audis, you wouldn't have to put the key in. In this one, you actually have to put it in and push. And then the gauge cluster lights up here with a bunch of errors telling us it's mad that the door's open, trunk's open. We've got old MMI here. Let's turn that on. Definitely works. It's still, you know, it's still pretty usable for what it is. It's nice enough to show the radio station in the center display, even though now it says low battery instead of the station that it showed just a moment ago. This car is full of air fresheners, which is hilarious. We got leather, no black ice in this, and also a bunch of refreshes, and then that thing, and it's still loud in here, as Kyle would say. You can smell the Colorado in this car. Audi concert system, I think that's the base model system. Sounds okay, it's nothing special. Auto climate control, which is very nice, and it is all integrated into the display here. And I'm not even sure how you force the display over to that screen. I think you just have to kind of hit auto and then return a couple times. But it will show the climate in this display. Yeah, there we go. So if we turn that back off, save us some battery. I think the electronic parking brake was new, so that's nice. ESP off. The shifter, couple cup holders. There's really nothing to this car. Sunroof controls right there. And in here, you could hook an iPod up. Inside there, there's their 30-pin connector to MMI, and there should be an SD card slot in here as well. Came with a toothbrush and a bunch of junk. The center console looks like it had push rods in it, but they're just billet pieces of metal. Cigarette lighter right there. Missing out of the... This has the smoker's package. Oh, it's got one option. Probably the cheapest one there ever was. And I've heard the back seat is supposed to be incredibly roomy. We've got the special edition Mountain Dew. Kind of goes with the loud right there. That is not the Mountain Dew you buy at the grocery store. Some cups, some cup lids, but it does look like it has a reasonable amount of space in the back. Nothing special, but it's space nonetheless. And another 12-volt socket right there. Storage for the rear passengers. And wow, that's really hard to open. It's missing a trim piece. And it does have cup holders in the rear, so not bad. All right, that's basically a complete tour of the 2010 Audi A4. There is nothing to this car. I mean, they didn't even option the good headlights. So let's see what happens when we try to start this thing up. So to start this, you put your foot on the brake and then put the key in. Boy, it's sure cranking and cranking and cranking. Let's give up on the crank. I think the next course of action here is hook the scanner up and see what it says. It says service due, but obviously that's not the check engine light. Let's see if it's setting check engine lights. It is an Audi A4 2009 or greater, and we're gonna call it a saloon with a 2.0 TFSI. All right, it's got the CAEB engine, which should help us know what transmission's in this thing. Tell me your secrets, Gypsy, yes. Interesting, we have no codes. I just saw it pass ECM and there were no ECM codes. This is also not good. It looks like the car's gonna try to shut off, even though it's on a battery charger and charging. So hopefully it finishes scanning really quickly here, because I know it only has a few more seconds until this thing kicks us out. Well, we're gonna save these codes out, but really nothing's wrong. We have one that's interesting from the transmission: engine speed input circuit, no signal, and it's a passive sporadic code, P0727. But other than that, all this stuff's dumb. Like energy management active, obviously like a low voltage condition, no load current, upper limit exceeded. A bulb is burnt out in the third brake light. I believe you. And then the subwoofer has an open circuit, which is possible. And then the radio tuner is not enabled. That's it. Literally 8 codes. And it's just 2 for the light, 2 from the radio, well, 3 from the radio basically, and 1 from the transmission, 2 from the gateway. So we didn't really find anything interesting in here. I'm wondering if we can crank and maybe see a little bit of live data, and hopefully that'll tell us if it's out of time, because I am kind of hoping it's just timing. It seems like this is a pretty simple engine to work on. Obviously it's a 4-cylinder, right? So way better than the Audi V6s that are some of the most complicated engines on the planet. Let's fire up the live data and crank it. So I took every parameter that was related to engine start, camshaft angle, timing, misfire counters, and crankshaft RPM, and I tried to crank it, sat there, recorded it even, and it just showed the crankshaft RPM 750, which appears to be the cranking speed, and really nothing else that mattered in the live data, just a bunch of zeros. So unfortunately, whatever's going on, we're not going to easily figure it out by looking at the live data from the computer. I guess what we need to do next to figure out this cheap Audi is pull the spark plugs, do a compression test, stick cameras down in the spark plug holes, see if we have any bent valves, because if it is out of time, it might have bent the valves, and we could be spending some serious money if we bent the valves, let's be honest. But if it didn't, and it's just a timing chain, well, I've heard from Kyle and from Johnny that it might be relatively easy. And I've also heard from some other friends that the 2OT is the last car they would ever buy on the planet, because it's just a walking basket case, or a rolling basket case in this case. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. Well, in the next one, I guess we'll get this thing pulled around onto the lift and we'll start doing some troubleshooting, see if we can figure out what's actually wrong with it. Is it just timing? Is it something far worse, or is it something far easier? But I mean, at this point, we're pretty sure it's timing, because I did hear a fire earlier, and then it kind of sounded like it was popping a little bit, probably a little bit of a backfire. So it's very likely that it is timing, and I kind of hope it is. I'm gonna go price out some timing sets and see what this thing's gonna cost me. But you guys know I'm obsessed with Audis. I've had just so many cheap, expensive Audis all over the map, and this one's pretty funny. Like I said, it's funny that it has the audacity to call itself an Audi, because it is cheap and it has no options. I just noticed both taillights are broken. This one has a crack in it, and then I walked around and noticed this one has a crack in it. Maybe somebody did find the posts at Sonic. Something like that. Let's see, how are these ones faring? Well, better. That one's perfect. Interesting.